But like when you think of like startup or like people starting their own business, that seems out of reach for them because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the money. Like I'm bootstrapping this. I'll make something on clip art, throw it up, and I'm ready to go. But like for some reason, you have been able to bridge that gap from like your experience in like the bigger companies and bring that to like the little guy in the small business world. Why is that so important for you to do?
And those are my people. I feel like, I had a lot of folks when I decided to do Run Creative, like, how come you don't just go like move to New York and get a big agency job? And I'm like, that's not where my heart's at, like and then after being here for as many years, I'm like, this community needs me. And there is a void that needs to be filled and a point of access to where, good quality branding and logos and someone that you could trust with something as personal as a baby business it's important to find the right person for that. And they deserve to have access to that as well as anybody, and even if you don't have, millions of dollars to throw at a huge brand campaign, I mean, that's not me anyway. So there's an accessibility part of things too. For me, it's like, I'll work with my clients on a payment plan. Like I understand, like I've been here. I've started a business with absolutely nothing in my pocket and no life jacket, like I've been there. I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. But I also know what it feels like to be like, I have got this guttural need to do this thing. And like, what a cool thing, to be a part of. And so, so that I really have just felt that that's where I'm needed the most is the little guys, the small businesses. And it's been a joy to be able to work with so many different types of, that's the cool thing too, is that like, like if you think about the vast array of businesses I've got clients that are doctor's offices. I've got clients who are restaurants or bars or yoga studios or dental offices or lash artists or nail techs. Like everybody has some sort of online presence to some extent. And I think too, that's where my creativity doesn't really get super stagnant because I'm not working in like only can packaging, like that's the thing too about being an in-house designer is like, sometimes it's like, oh my God, I got another pitch deck, like another pitch slide that I have to do. And it's so exciting that I can work with so many different types of businesses too. And they're real people at the, it feels good. For me, it feels really good. It's like, this is someone who's starting a business so that they could create generational wealth, so that then maybe their kids could acquire this business someday. And that's so cool to have even just like a little bit of an impact on that.
I mean, that's where we met you was at the Brit Pub doing the photography for their opening night. And I know a lot of their like menu photography you're doing as well. And you did such a great job on like the photos.
Thank
you.
You
haven't even talked about like the moment you picked up a camera, but
that
was like the moment I wanted to ask you because my girlfriend's a photographer, Andrew's a photographer, Edgar a photographer, like a lot of photographers. I had a camera for a little while too. Like when was that moment for you? Because you're extraordinary.
I've been taking pictures since I was a little kid. Same thing. I feel like it's just the creativity was in me in so many different ways, coloring, drawing, painting, cross stitching, taking photos with cameras and Polaroids and film cameras. And I took I went to high school in a very rural town in Arizona. But they had at the time, and it kills me now that I think that they've got rid of a lot of the like extracurricular type stuff in a lot of high schools. But they had, culinary classes, carpentry classes, darkroom photography. And I just was like, as many as I could take in a year, I was taking all of them.
Wow.
And I started taking darkroom photography classes in high school. And I was like, this is my jam. And then my uncle was the chief photographer for Texas Parks and Wildlife when I was little. Well, I think he just retired recently, actually. And so he was a good connection for me too when I was just learning how to take photos.
Great gig
I mean, right?
for a photographer.
To be fair, I learned really early on, like he is a nature photographer and a nature photographer and a portrait photographer.
Absolutely. Two different things.
Totally different people, two different archetypes, two totally different realms.
Two different tech sets.
Really, like your kit is completely different. But I still learned a lot of fundamentals from him. And so then when I got to college, that was one of the side hustles, is that I didn't have a camera at the time or a car even in college. So I joined the newspaper team in college so that I could get access to all of their equipment and their gear and
Oh,
their
cool.
computers. And so then I had a camera on me at all times because I would go shoot the football games on Friday, but then I would shoot someone's engagement pictures on Saturday, and then I'd have class on Monday. I just was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I dig this. And then when I graduated, really went the design direction,
Mhm.
but kind of always took photos a little bit on the side. But then when I started Ring Creative, told myself, all right, well, if design can't pay all the bills, then maybe we could backfill with photography. And what I actually discovered is that all of my skill set really bring the holistic approach to what I do is, and I love getting to be a part of the whole process versus, coming into a project and I'm only doing the branding and somebody else is doing the website or somebody else is doing the photos. And my favorite work to do is the client that hires me to do all of it.
Yeah.
Because then I do feel like I can really represent the brand
Yeah.
fully
Mhm.
throughout the whole process. And that's what I do a lot of now is, a client comes to me as a startup and they're like, well, obviously I need a logo. I need a social presence. I need photos for my website. I don't have any headshots. I don't have a website at all, nor do I know how to do one. And it's like, don't worry about it. I do it all, baby. So that's my most fun work truly is getting to do all of it. And I really didn't think that I could bring photography into what I was doing with design until I got to these problems that I'd have to solve for clients who I'd finish a brand project and they'd go, do you know anybody that does this? And I'm like, well, I mean, I could do that.
Mhm.
I don't see why not. And then it kind of got me to where I am now. And it's like, yeah, this all really works well together. And then it's kind of gotten me in some other directions of like, I really enjoy food photography a lot, so much.
I've seen it in your work. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that just comes from my hospitality background too. Like having been growing up in restaurants, as a server and then, them realizing, oh, she's a graphic designer too. Let's throw her on the marketing stuff instead, and getting to see kind of the back end of how, to market and promote a business like that. And then the evolution of social media is
Mhm.
now like, well, we need photos of the food. And it's, evolved from like just crappy cell phone pictures to like people are doing some cool shit out there.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I want my hands in that. Like, and I want to be a part of that. And I really enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's where kind of Britpub came into play too, is really it was my connections through the independent got me the job at Britpub.
Mhm.
Because my old publisher now works at the Downtown Partnership and knows Nova really well and small town stuff.